I'd imagine Aaron always has one. Do you have any question for either Anusha or Joel? Oh, there is. Yes, please. We'll have you next.
Good morning, Mike Arceo from the Manila Times. You've mentioned earlier that insurance penetration in the Philippines is about 2% only. And despite the growing economy and the large working population, why do you think people are still hesitant to avail insurance? And do you see insurance penetration in the country increase in the medium term, and what would be the main drivers? Thank you.
Mimi. I use without microphone. Yeah, so 2% is give or take more or less stable because the population is growing, right? So more and more Filipinos are getting protected, but at a more or less equal rate as the population is growing. You know, the population growth rate in the Philippines is growing. Why is it at 2%? There are many, many reasons, I think, behind that, right? I think what the starting point is the understanding and the information and the literacy, the awareness and the appreciation of this declaration of love. Because it's a topic which is not top of your mind. And in an emerging society like the Philippines, but also Malaysia, where I used to work at, Anusha is Malaysian, it's not a natural connection that people make. So if I think of the Philippines, as income starts coming in, the first thought is consumption, it's gadgets, it's live your life. Where does the curve come when you start thinking and reflecting about what happens if? It's not a great thought to think about, right? You've got to really rest and be calm. Number one. Number two, you need to also have financial means, because if you're at poverty, the only thing you think about is how do I put food on the table for my family the next day. So a natural progression also of income will trigger that. And it's no question. I'm 100% convinced that the insurance penetration rate in the Philippines will grow. Because the society will emerge, because education will grow, and people will have also more income to reflect about the protection. But that is where it's a job not of Allianz, but the whole insurance industry. It's also the insurance commission. I think of many societal stakeholders to reach out to clients to explain it to them. And that is also part of our distribution partners, not to go and sell a product. Good people don't sell products. They don't. You know, I was just coming from an MDRT conference in Bohol. All the best agents were there. And we had agents from Singapore, from Malaysia, from Hong Kong. And they said, I go and talk to a client, I don't make a sale. I go and talk to a client the second time, I don't make a sale. But I understand his needs, her needs, the family, the grandchildren. And then the triggering comes, oh, the client will then come and say, I've thought about that, I am now ready. So it is a journey, and I don't think you can expect kind of a silver bullet shot of it jumping up by any degree, but it will evolve.
We all play a big part in that, and I think this is also where we say thank you, because media is a huge
Very
partner.
important. And maybe Anusha has
No,
the
right.
global view or the regional view also.
No, so I will bring it even more down to basics, right? So if you go back maybe 20 years, the cost of an education for a child was probably not a lot. Medical cost was probably not a lot. Non-communicable diseases, so you know things like diabetes, cancer, the incidence rates were much lower. So people the need for insurance was probably a lot less. Now society has evolved. We've become more. Our lifestyles have emerged in such a way that we're more at risk of these kinds of non-communicable diseases like cancer, diabetes, etc. And then the cost of care and medical technology has gone up. So as a consequence, for someone to really get diagnosed, get treated, it requires a significant amount of savings that people don't have. The cost of repairing a car, let me just pick a car, right? From 20 years ago and now, it's huge. It's exponentially increased. It's not about inflation, but it's really about the car, the people have nicer cars, those kind of things. And so when an incident happens, maybe 20 years ago you think, oh, it's okay, I can just go and my neighbor will repair my car for me. but 20 years on, that does not happen. So if you think about urbanization, affluence, it's making insurance become more and more important, and then it's the duty of us in the industry and together hopefully with media, the association, the government, the regulators, to really bring the awareness of insurance out to the forefront. Also maybe giving examples, bringing customers who've seen how it has helped them, bringing their experiences out and telling their stories. And then our ability to really reach more people will be successful. And then there's also on our side, right? It's about growing up. We need to be able to reach customers. So one good thing is that literacy rates in the Philippines is very, very high, one of the best in Asia. The use of mobile apps technology is also very, very high. So how do we use technology to reach more people in the Philippines, and then how do we then ensure that they understand and then they can buy insurance? The second obviously is to continue to grow our agency, to continue to drive professionalism, to continue to access the customers through our partners, PNB, Philippines National Bank, and HSBC, and even more. And I think that is what will make the difference. And as I said, right, we need to get closer to the customers. When we get closer to the customers, the purpose is served. It's not about, as Joe said, it's not about selling. It's about really going out and protecting people, and they see the value in the protection that we give them.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Yes, please.
Hi, good morning. My name is Rory Visco from frontpagepage.com. I hope you forgive my voice. The question is probably from a regional or a Philippine perspective. How does this move to a new office, to a new headquarters, reflect on the confidence of the company in terms of the long-term economic and insurance market potential of the Philippines? Thank you.
Alright. So well, obviously we moved and we financed it. So our confidence, I'll speak locally, and then Anusha can hopefully agree with me, is huge. This is a commitment, a statement to the Philippines, clearly, right? Because we don't easily make this investment. So this is a clear statement of commitment, confidence, trust to this market for a very, very long future. There's no end in sight in my view, because I talked about the potential of the market. So it makes business sense to be in the Philippines long term, full stop. You agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's long term, right? And yeah, I mean, insurance is, it's not a commodity thing that is short term. It's literally a partnership long term. I think what we all need to remember is even when you buy insurance, say you're a young man and your spending is at this level, but over time you grow up, and what you need is that continuous review and continuous reassessment of your insurance policies, etc. And I think Allianz as an organization, we've been now, as a group, we have existed for 135 years, and we're committed to every market that we go in to really help and build not just the industry, but to really protect more people in the markets. Thank you.
Thank you, Rory. If I could just add, Joe is one of the most established senior leaders in the Allianz Group, and I think having that leadership is also a statement and a testament to how important the Philippines is. You have a question?
Yes. Hi, good morning. I'm Larissa from Astida.ph. Actually, I have several questions. Hope you don't mind. Okay. For Ms. Anusha, you mentioned a while ago that your Allianz invests in several. What's the biggest part, or what's the top investment that Allianz do to make sure that our premiums are being placed significantly with a large. Okay.
So it varies, right? So different assets are invested based on there's very careful selection of how we invest. I'm looking at the CFO. We look at the policies we sell,
Okay.
and based on the policies we sell, we understand the pattern of potential claims that can come out, and then based on that, we look at a proper asset allocation to make sure that when a claim happens, that we can actually, we have the liquidity, the cash flow to pay the claim. So there is a very diverse set of asset classes that we are.
So there's no permanent investment per year. Okay. Second question is, you mentioned that you want to be top one with regards to insurance. For 2025, do you have a certain numbers that you want to reach? I mean, what's your target number for 2025?
For Philippines.
Yes.
Uh,
Do you set a number? Like,
no, as in ranking.
yes. I mean, to become top one or to for your standing to go up, do you have a certain target?
I can. See, as Anusha said, you can become I could become number one tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the
can-
number of
No, so the
customers.
absolute ranking by itself is really
It's
not
not important.
okay. It's the quality. So if you'd ask me what would be my two most important metrics, it would be client satisfaction and employee satisfaction. I want to be number one. I want everybody who works in the insurance industry or beyond the insurance industry to say, I want to come to Allianz because
Okay.
this is a great company to work at. Number two, I'd like all my clients to say, I will recommend that to my friend and family.
Mm-hmm.
That is success.
Okay.
And on that note, you said customers and employees.
Mhm.
Customers today, they are loyalty leader, which is a leading indicator, and employees today, they are Great Place to Work certified, which also tells you that they're at the top. And if you get your employee engagement right, and you get your customers to be happy, your results will come, and that's what we need to focus on. And it's about long term, ensuring that it's not short term. We're here for the long term.
Okay. I hope you don't mind. I have so many questions. It's because I have several insurance. I have like 9 for the
All with
family.
Allianz.
That's why I'm asking Allianz. So maybe I could get another 3 in Allianz. So that's why I'm asking.
Now to customer service.
Yes. Okay. For Sergio, you mentioned there's a okay. The question is, how fast is the claims, the processing of the claims? Because it's because there are certain times, like you mentioned, there's a fine print that client like us don't, you don't like read the fine prints, and then when the time comes when you claim, and you said that's very true that there are things that came up when you are trying to claim. So how fast is the claim?
So
How
it-
simple?
It very well. That's a good question. On both questions, I would say not good enough. Okay, to where we need to be. I need to get back to the stats because it depends whether you've got a healthcare claim, right, or medical bill or something, or you've got critical illness or it's death. On the death side, it's very, very straightforward. With registration, I'm clear. I don't have the exact numbers, but Gino can get back to that. Is it fast enough? Maybe not yet. Is it simple enough? I think yes. Our basic philosophy as an insurance company is when a claims come, that is why we are there, right? I mean, that is our purpose, is to protect the client when something bad happens. So our commitment is absolutely to pay out all justified claims. Any unjustified or fraudulent claim, we will fight because it is unjust for the mass of the population if some fraudsters come and steal money from the other people. We're being asked to ask less questions.
Thank you. So thank you so much for accommodating my questions.
But we do have life changers who can help out if you have
Okay,
questions.
Thank you to
There are.
customer service.
Yes, definitely. I think I better go to the customer service.
There were 1 or 2 questions, I think.
Very good.
Can I have one?
Yes, please.
Since the inception of Allianz PNB, how many MDRTs were you able to produce, and what's the driving force behind it? And the last one is, what's the particular product or services stand out the most?
Wow, okay, that's a complex, like since thing. Let me say it this way: we had a reason, or we grew exponentially fast with the agency force since 2016. Big success. Also driven very much by single premium and also appreciation of agency expansion. The exact numbers of MDRTs that we grew, I don't have top of mind. I really don't have that. we'll get but together with the business growth, because MDRT is also about how many good sales successes you have, right? Now we're kind of refocusing actually the whole agency business. Our aspiration here in the Philippines is we want to be the home of MDRTs. Now what does that mean, aspiration? My aspiration would be, again, not to have the most, because again, that's just numbers, right? I would like to have the best active agent to MDRT ratio, meaning any good advisor should want to come to us because with us they've got the highest chance of becoming an MDRT. And that is also where we leverage working with Anusha and the team, the INSEAD program. INSEAD is like Oxford, Cambridge, one of the best universities in the world or in Europe for sure. INSEAD and Paris. And they're also in Singapore. So we're leveraging the regional programs also to boost up professionalism and driving MDRT rates. The numbers of MDRTs we need.
Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Rhonda from Allianz. So my question is, because you said the goal is to reach as many Filipinos as possible, right? Are you also talking about people who have no fixed income, like the jeepney drivers, the kasambahay, or house helpers,
Yes. Maybe I can do
This
that.
yesterday I also joined an event for another insurance. We have like 90 as little as 99 per day or per 149. So how about in Allianz?
Allianz.
Yes, thank you for the correction. Allianz, exactly.
Allianz.
But I can take that topic. No, we currently do not have microinsurance products in the Philippines. We do not. There are good reasons that will take a separate day to discuss. It's not because we don't want to, but we need to provide solutions which are there for the long term, which means it needs to be financially viable also for us. To make an insurance viable for microinsurance, you need to have very, very, very efficient processes, operational setup, distribution mechanisms, etc. So you can take all of that price and give it to the clients. Right? We are not there yet. It will take us time. It is not in the strategic framework, the priority of the company yet. Why is because there are a lot of Filipinos who have affordable income but are not protected. And their needs are equally bad, right? If mom or dad something happens, no income. The topic of single mothers in the Philippines is something that is very close to our heart, which we'll be really looking at is how can we provide protection to single mothers, because there the income situation is even more dramatic. But
So also on that note as well, so although we don't have micro insurance, I think Allianz there's a lot of CSR, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah, understood. That's true.
That offers them other things that will help them from a protection perspective. So it's not just about selling insurance, but it's that journey, right? You get it to help them while they are underserved, and many of them over time, whether they're children or themselves, will come out of that, and I mean ultimately these people will move up the income ladder, and then they become real customers.
Just to build on that one, for instance, so we do CSR, but it's not, our belief is CSR needs to get people up to a higher level. Giving money, yes, of course, it's good, it makes you feel good. But making people stronger is better, so they'll build their future, right? So Gino and the team and Eileen over there really working on CSR activities, and we partner also with Disco, with the volleyball league, which goes out to the provinces for the children that need it. They do sports. We will work with them to bring financial literacy also. Don't overspend on your mobile bill. Think of all these topics, so that it's not only just money spending, but it lifts people up to another level.
There have been a couple of individuals mentioned. So we have the Chief Financial Officer there, Lucas Kakay. If you could just be welcome. So if there are any questions later related to finances, we can always have you connected with Lucas. And our Head of Sustainability, Eileen Janisha. So everything Joe spoke about with regard to our sustainability push, Joe mentioned our advocacy for single mothers. We can always connect you later. Are you ready now, Eric? Do you have a question?
You mentioned earlier about conflict with driving or temptation, but we missed the status you're supposed to live that.
I didn't get.
Yeah.
Sorry, we missed what?
I don't get
The
it.
upper middle income.
Yeah, upper middle income. We were supposed to reach upper middle income status.
You mean the society of the
Yeah,
Philippines?
Philippines.
It was a governmental target, right? I can't comment on that because
Yeah,
that's
but
a
how does this affect your outcome on country's insurance penetration?
it's a
I mean, there are two, Philippines is at 2%, right? And so just look at the number of people that still don't have insurance that can afford it. It's still a lot, and so we continue to focus on it. And when Philippines reaches, it's not practice to say, we hope that we will have taken the insurance penetration to a level where we can continue to contribute and support.
it's a metric, it's an ambition. Not even achieving that ambition, it is what it is. Even within the current upper middle income class, the penetration is low. There's a lot of opportunity by itself, even if it would stay static. There's a lot of opportunity, right, to protect you.
We
No.
have insurance.
Eric, no, let me talk about this declaration of love with you.
We owed you a couple of questions, answers to two questions, right? So claims turnaround, and you had asked about
MDRTs.
We've had since inception 9 years at 252. The team was being very precise on the numbers. I was wanting to say 200 plus, but the number is 252 since inception. But I just want to reiterate, as Joe stated, that it isn't just about size of each individual, but really reach. I think this is where I always share this story that when I was a young graduate in 1998, I date myself. We had then the president, Fidel Valdez-Ramos, who had this Vision 2020 of 20% penetration. And it was a huge vision. But as you know, 2025, here we are still at 2%. So I think this would be a good way to wrap this event up, is to really remind of how we at Allianz are very much pushing for this purpose of insuring Filipinos. We have our regional CEO here who stated how this is a value that goes across the entire Asia Pacific region. And once again, thank you to all of you for being part of this, because advocacy, awareness, and everything else that we do is amplified because of your help and your efforts. So we will, after this, move on to the ribbon cutting. We will ask you to be part of this, of course. We will have friends escort you to the outside, and we'll have the ambassador of Germany joining us, and the head of the German-Philippine Chamber of Commerce as well, as one of our guests. Thank you.